News coming up. We start with Davante Adams is a New York Jet. Aaron Rodgers reuniting with one of his favorite players on the day after Rodgers ended Monday Night Football with an interception of Mike Williams, who now might also be traded. Details, Jets take on Davante's salary and send a conditional third that could become a second to Las Vegas. Here's how the duo has fared historically. It turns out they're awesome together.
Tell me Montana to race next.
Well, that would be good.
Yeah, in 2024 it wouldn't be.
Well, if Jerry Rice all of a sudden was with Montana's Chiefs, I would say, you know what?
It was only 3 years ago.
Okay, a lot was only 3 years ago. Aaron Rodgers was good 3 years ago. Go ahead.
That's a reaction.
Listen, first of all, once again, Aaron Rodgers proves to be just a totally straight shooter. I was talking about playing golf with Davante, and I have no power around here. Got it, check, check. Glad we got those things squared away. This doesn't move the needle.
What?
I watched the Jets last night, Brew. I know you did too. When the ball is out in under 2 seconds, they can look crisp. They can look sharp. If it's boom, boom, out. Boom, boom, out. But the moment there's a drop, the moment they get behind the sticks, the moment they have a running back not hit a hole and they're in 2nd and 8 and then 3rd and 8, the drives die. Davante's not fixing that. He'll help it marginally, but he's not fixing it. The moment they're in must-pass, pick-up, real yardage situation, they're cooked, which is why they had one drive last night. Real drive, scored a touchdown. They scored 2 touchdowns. One was on a Hail Mary.
Hail Mary, right.
And, I mean, Sean McDermott, in his infinite wisdom, is like, this guy can't deal with a blitz, can't move. What if we send 2 guys at the greatest Hail Mary quarterback of all time? See what happens. I am annoyed by the media's credulousness when it comes to this football team. I was annoyed by, and Dust, if we can run through the headlines, oh, my God. Mike Williams was the missing piece.
That was mostly Brew.
Oh, no. Jets signing Mike Williams in major free agency.
It in the Post.
Splash. And it wasn't just the Post. It was our friends at Sports Illustrated. Mike Williams is the best available free agent. By who? People that didn't have Sunday ticket the last few years? No, that next one is the Mike Williams key addition for Win Now Jets. Well, guess what? Mike Williams now is going to be looking for a new home.
Yeah.
Because, no, definitely. Mike Williams is off the Jets. He's not officially off the Jets yet, but he's definitively off the Jets. And, Brew, 25 days ago, the New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers was telling us, now is when we learn to dominate.
Yeah.
25 days ago. 16 days ago, they lost 10-9 to the Broncos, and they literally blamed it on the rain. They were like, the conditions were tough. 9 days ago, they lost to Minnesota and fired the coach. Yesterday, they lose to the Buffalo Bills, and they snap trade for Davante Adams. They're not good. And they're not a soon-to-be 32-year-old receiver with a gimpy hamstring away from being good. And so, I mean, good. I'm glad Aaron gets to finish his career with a friend. But that is what happened here, in my opinion.
They're going to be good. Dismiss all that you just heard.
You can't be serious.
I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. I've told you from the get-go, even when I picked them to win the division, they're not a real contender, because we know what Aaron Rodgers does in championship games, which is wet the bed, all right, even when he won it years ago. But this is a good move. And, Nick, they should be 3-3, if not 4-2.
Based on what?
Based on a field goal kicker being able to make a 32-yarder and a 43-yarder. Last night, they could have won that game had they had a touchdown call back by a controversial call, holding call.
I mean, they got a Hail Mary, bro.
And the Hail Mary was, I mean, obviously just luck. That's the definition of it, right? But they still were right there with the Bills. The Bills aren't, they're right there with the Bills. Yeah. And if they make 2 field goals, there's a good 2, I'm not even saying a 50-yarder, which is what cost them against Denver. He should be able to make a 50-yarder, but a 32-yarder and a 43-yarder, the defense is great.
It's great?
It's number 2 in the league, and it's number 7 in points allowed. So that's a very good defense.
Sure.
And now you add Davante Adams. I'm just saying it's a good move.
So you think they're going to be able to climb out of this and win the division?
I think they got a chance. I think they can make the playoffs, whether they win the division or not. I mean, again, the AFC, we know there's only a couple of really good teams, and then it's open. Put the schedule up. You know the schedule is very weak going for Pittsburgh, winnable. Patriots, winnable. Houston, they're going to lose at some point. They haven't been, looking awesome. That's a losable game. Arizona is winnable. It won't be easy. Indy, Seattle, Miami, Jacksonville. There's not a world beater left on their schedule.
But they're all.
I'm not saying those are easy wins.
They're all winnable.
When you're just a
middling
solid,
team.
yeah, they're losable. But Aaron Rodgers looked pretty good last night. He almost had his 300-yard game. I know a lot of it was the Hail Mary, but still, he looked all right. Garrett Wilson, things are going to open up for him because he's been double-teamed most of the season. And Davante, how's it insane?
Because
they're a couple of bad missed field goals away from being at least 500.
Because
this
is what the Jets fans told me as well, the kicker thing. But we do understand that last night, the other team's kicker was just as bad.
He missed the one
extra point and a field goal.
That's not just as bad.
Last night,
4 points.
Okay, so you're right. So let's give the Jets 6 more and Buffalo 4 more, and the Bills still win.
And even if the Bills win, the Bills are a playoff team.
The game against Denver, the Broncos kicker missed a kick. And then the Jets kicker missed a kick. The Jets fans are doing this thing where it's all field goal kickers' fault, but the other team's field goal kicker still is going to be bad. It's just, I don't know right now how anyone can watch the Jets through 6 weeks and look at a schedule and other than, Wilds, the Patriots game,
short week.
Be like, I'd be surprised if they lost.
Well, I didn't say you'd be surprised if they lost. I'm saying a lot of those games are winnable, and I think the Jets are better than a lot of those teams on their schedule.
Just to bring it back to Davante, here's why I think it's going to be good. I've been sounding the alarm that Aaron Rodgers hasn't thrown for 300 yards in 28 games. Are we at 28 or 29 games, Josh? I think that might have been 29.
It's 20-something.
Yeah.
But we had the same conversation when Aaron Rodgers brought in Alan Lazard. And we were like, Alan Lazard, it's like...
He's looking great.
He's amazing. He has 5 touchdowns. No one in the league has more than 5 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson's got 4 touchdowns. He's got 5. Tyrod threw him 1. That's why there's only 4 there. When he's targeting Alan Lazard, his passer rating's 120. And chemistry and trust, we know Aaron is a little hesitant to spread it around. This pass last night, I don't think he's throwing it to anyone else. This is an amazing pass. It's either lucky or amazing.
That was incredible. Yeah.
But a part of it is he has the guts to throw it because he trusts. He won't trust other guys wide open, and he's trusting Lazard. And Lazard is not. I don't want to dim Alan Lazard's.
He's a number 3 receiver.
He's pretty good, and Davante Adams is great. So if he's made Lazard the league leader in touchdowns, what's Davante going to do all of a sudden?
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I don't think all of a sudden this is going to be great for Garrett Wilson. Because as you said, you're like, oh, now Garrett's not going to be doubled as much. Can we show the team? The Jets haven't scored 25 points yet this year. I don't look at the Jets right now, and we can show the list of teams that have done that. Patriots, offense stinks.
Yeah.
The Dolphins, offense went away when Tua went away. The Browns, as you mentioned yesterday, Barnwell wrote an opus. So they got the worst quarterback play we've seen in modern NFL history. And the Jets.
But what's the remedy for that?
To solve?
I think.
But what better way to improve it than go and get a great
I think adding a soon-to-be 32-year-old, currently slightly injured receiver who is a great player will marginally help them. But they're not. The point I'm making is they're not close. We saw them play the Niners.
Who's close in the AFC?
Hold on. They got blast. I think Buffalo is not a tier 1 contender and better than the Jets.
Well, last night they were a few points better.
Yeah, Drew, almost all these games are close.
But it was a good game that the Jets could have won. You act like they're miles away from the Buffalo Bills.
I act like that game was headed to blowout territory, and the Jets hit a Hail Mary, and they still lost. That's what I act.
It still wasn't necessarily headed to blowout territory.
I mean, it was 20-10 at halftime, and Rodgers seemed beside himself. It was not headed in the right direction. They hit a Hail Mary, and they still couldn't win. The Jets played the Niners and got blasted. They played the Titans and played the Titans. It was as good as close of a game as the Titans have played, except for one game all year. They blast the Patriots. Credit, yeah, exactly right. Credit to them. They then lose to Denver. They then get down 17-0 to Minnesota, and they lose to Buffalo.
Yeah.
And when
but
Buffalo's
they got down
missing James Cook.
17-0 to Minnesota, but they lost by 6.
Yeah.
I mean, they came back and made it a good game against a team that's playing some of the best ball in the league.
Yeah, I think most.
I mean, you give the Cowboys a lot of credit for coming back against the Ravens. I thought they came back against the Vikings.
No, I think most games in the NFL aren't blowouts. I think that like this idea of like, oh, it's a couple plays. 80% of the games are one-score games.
All right,
so go ahead.
Sorry, we're getting back into the Vikings game.
Yeah.